Well, voting is over and coalition has begun in states where supplementary elections took place.
Precisely in 17 states and the FCT. Welcome to Pollstream. I'm Mayowa Ogundele.
And I'm Victor Matthias. We're back with the reactions from the social cyberspace as the supplementary elections take place across the country.
You can be a part of the conversation by sending your reaction messages and videos to us via the handles showing on your screen. That's at Channels TV, at Victor_MBIDI.
And of course at Oluwa Mayowa. And also don't forget to include your name, your location, plus please use the hashtags Pollstream Supplementary Elections and 2019 elections.
Now, before we carry on, Victor, I would like to thank all our viewers who have sent in their videos and, of course, their reactions. Thank you so much. We encourage you to, continue doing the same.
Send more of those videos, send more of your reactions on what's going on at your polling unit, at your polling booth. Just send them as you see them. And of course, we will be very happy as usual to share it with the world. Well, moving forward now, the web has been bubbling, of course, as always, what is trending.
And that's why we're here.
Indeed.
To bring to you what is happening on social media. Now, some of the topics trending at this time, Victor, we have Benue, we have CP Wakili.
Yeah.
It's trending again.
Again, like it's just always in the news.
We have Kano trending, we have Gama trending.
Which is in Kano as well.
So many trends, around Kano. I'm sure CP Wakili is also because of Kano.
Yeah. So why is Benue trending though?
Well, it's trending because thugs attacked INEC officials and they burned election materials. Yeah. So that's why Benue is trending. But Victor, I must say that, at this time, we're getting a lot more buzz on social media than we had earlier on in the morning because, in the morning it was a bit
things were just getting started. Things were just getting started.
As the day rolled on, it became a bit heated. And of course, I do know that Kano contributed a lot to that heat that is still on social media at this time.
Well, so, CP Wakili is in the news for some reason. Kano and then Gama, which is, for CP Wakil, there's just so many allegations because the other time he was trending because people felt that, he did a good job, he did a great job, policing the state, which was seen as a hot point or a flashpoint.
Yeah.
But this time around, people are saying that, he's not in the picture and what's happening. Why are we having all these security reports coming in from Kano State? Well, people are just, making up stories. We just don't know what exactly the true story is. And hopefully, like they say, nothing is hidden under the sun. Exactly. So hopefully we'll get to know what exactly is going on with CP Wakili. But moving forward, keep those updates have been coming, but keep them coming. And of course, from your location around the country, but we also have those videos that you have also sent from your locations around the country. And let's take a look at some of those.
Yes, Adele Samuel. I'm at Iwurekun Secondary School. We are here for the voting for House of Assembly. I have also done mine. The voters turnout has not been too well, but we thank God, and everything is going on well for now. At least we thank God for that.
My name is Abdurrashid Bashir Sani. I'm from Nidi local government here. I have voted and I'm very sure that my votes are counted. We are very happy with the way and manner people turn out. It was peaceful, transparent, free and fair. And one last thing that we are doing here is that we are here to make sure that our votes are counted and recorded. And we have strong confidence in the way and manner security agencies are conducting themselves. We are very happy with the way the observers treat us. We are very happy with the way and manner INEC officials are doing. Everything is transparent, everything is free for now. So we are very thankful. We are thankful to God and everything that we do. Thank you very much.
My name is Ekpemusi Shedrack Shuma, and I am a domestic observer. And this is Boko Yande South, polling unit 008. And I arrived here 1 minute past 7, and the INEC officials arrived with the sensitive and non-sensitive materials around 7:37, and everything started well. Voting was going well, and the deployment of security officials was massive, and the patrol officers too were massive, and voting was going peacefully until an incident occurred where agents were assisting voters, and it was so bad to the extent that one voter was even thumbprinting for one agent was thumbprinting for some voters, some electorates, and then it was later rectified by the officials, the INEC officials, and it was all sorted out. And throughout the election, it was peaceful. There was no form of violence, and everything has been all right here since the beginning of the.
Well, there you go. You heard it there from the horse's mouth in Lagos, in Benue, in Bauchi. Quite a spread. Keep giving us those updates from your locations around the country. But we are now joined by a political strategist, Ade Tokumbo Olorundami, who joins us via Skype from London. It's a pleasure to have you on the program.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Well, so let's begin. I mean, so much has been said about the elections, but what have you seen so far?
Well, it's a bit of a joy and, sadness at the same time. You see, there's still evidence of voter apathy in this election, and you can still see the prevalence of violence, local actors, politicians turning themselves into warlords who will have victory at any cost. But generally speaking, you can see a mix of response. Voters are now becoming more involved. They're identifying as key stakeholders in this electioneering process. So it's encouraging and yet opening up avenues for improvement to be made.
You talk about voters being involved. What exactly are you talking about?
Okay, if you look at some of the reports you've been getting, you see that voters are self-organizing, organizing themselves into groups to either look out for each other or look out for their vote. That sort of involvement is what INEC can take good advantage of to educate people to know that their vote will count.
Victor, hold on a second. Speaking of INEC, all through this election cycle and season, INEC has been judged based on performance. So for each weekend when we have elections. People do say, oh, how did INEC perform? Well, how would you say INEC has performed for this particular weekend?
You see, we cannot isolate INEC performance from the Nigerian system performance. It is one and the same. We should not expect INEC to perform overtly as if magically out of space. The Nigerian state needs to refine some of her processes. Generally speaking, I will give INEC 60% over 100 because they have taken much clinical steps to improve on the process. First, they took a very bold step to cancel that election. Of course, the cost is, of course, we're still counting and licking our wounds from the cost of that. But at least they took that step to do that. And so I will give them, a pass mark.
Well, that's a pass mark. So what do you think should be improved on if you won't give them an A now, so to speak, since we're going academic?
Oh, brilliant. Since we're going academic, let me cite a paper by Taiwo and Ahmed, 2015. They opined that voter apathy has no link to socioeconomic indices. So you find that people who have jobs and are working, they generally don't want to really bother themselves going out to vote because anyway, they can supply their own water, supply their own power, and all of that. So what is the issue that INEC should be confronted with at moving forward? I have mentioned this here on channels before, and I'm mentioning it again. The key stakeholders can feed off some of this data that is coming up. INEC as number one, they need to improve on the processes. The security agencies need to improve on the processes. The Nigerian people need to improve on their attitude. But INEC, as the overarching body overseeing election, need to get back to the drawing table and define a process that will be that will mitigate some of these things coming up. I do not think INEC should rely on the politicians to define the process that will lead us into better elections because the politicians will administer it to favor one person or the other. So INEC should look away from politicians, depend on the people, to refine this process and deliver a better election.
Now, speaking of INEC, voter education is something that has come up a lot today. Now, if you look at one of the major reasons why we have supplementary elections today is because there are so many cancelled votes, which brings up the topic about did we not have enough voter education. I do remember that running up to the elections, there were campaigns about, maybe changing the finger people use just so that we avoid having so many cancelled
void votes.
Void votes. Would you say that we had enough, or how do you explain why we had so many cancelled votes?
You see, the issue of cancelled vote is very, very disturbing. I was at a forum just last week where we were discussing that it has never been this high. I would want to probably, partially attribute it to voter education, but mostly to the smallness of the box for voting. People in the hinterland who probably will not understand the fact that the ink can be smeared and things like that. So it becomes much more demanding on INEC to educate voters. All voters in Nigeria should have a trial voting process during the electionary processes and all that. And maybe we can find a way to democratically reduce the number of the political parties. Otherwise, digitizing this voting process as a whole will eliminate the voidness of votes and all of that. Digital system can take care of that very simply.
Yeah, we'll get to the digital issue, but so you made mention of the boxes being small. Well, that is because we have quite a number of political parties, contesting, here and there for various positions. So, what is your own thought as to the number of political parties that we have? Do you think they should be reduced? I mean, you just made mention of that now, but just further expatiate on that.
Asking, it's not a magic wand that you can just, swing and say reduce it. We have to arrive at it democratically, otherwise we'll be infringing on people's rights. For example, let's look at the top 15 or 20 performers based on votes and use that to weed out the rest. It therefore means that their popularity is not just something to come to touch with, it's not there. So they need to find a way to reintegrate themselves into the existing party system, and then we can move on from there. That way to be arrived at somewhat systematically. But we therefore need to talk about the number of parties that cannot garner up to 10 votes out of 80 million votes. I mean, what are they in the race for? It's disturbing, and we need to take a step to make sure that they get back to their drawing board and do something to be popular.
That comment really reminds me of so many tweets we got on social media following the presidential elections, Victor. We had so many tweets saying, why can't we have the top 3 parties announced and let everybody else go get their results on a board.
On the board or the INEC website.
And there was another tweet, if I remember. Somebody was complaining about, just the number of parties that are a part of the process. It also costs money when you consider it. Yeah. And the person was mentioning about maybe fining them. If you cannot meet up a certain number of votes, you should be fined for spending our money and not, cutting it, basically.
I totally agree with those comments. And it shows that Nigerians are watching and they are observing. If you cannot, marshal enough votes to even show that in your locality you're popular, then what are you in the race doing? And it all comes to the issue of educating. If you look at the apathy pattern, you'll see that there are informed apathy and uninformed apathy. And I don't want to drag us into that realm, but you can see that some people are just uninformed, that they just go and say, let me just vote. But some people are informed because they feel like, okay, what is it anyway? I'm just going to put myself out there and be scared of this and that. And those are the issues that INEC should begin to look at. Entirely digitizing the process will not solve this matter, but I think that we can do with some technology. For example, look at the voter validation process. If a voter is validated and then there's a disconnect between voter validation and the machine that they use in doing the validation and the entire electionary process, there's a disconnect between that. We need to see how we can bridge that gap and ensure that proper gap analysis is done to fix that gap.
Well, I mean, already, like you said, technology is already being infused, but just hold your thought, just hold it. Well, we'll talk more about technology just in a moment. We'll take a quick break on Pollstream, and we'll be back in a moment. Please stay with us.
I see what you did there. Welcome back to Poststream. We're still following events around the supplementary elections.
Well, the thing is, just before we went on the break, we had with us our political strategist joining us from London, talking about how technology can be infused into the electoral system. Well, Mr. Olarundami, you were talking about technology. So looking at the fact that you're in London and perhaps maybe not you voted or not, INEC is saying that very soon diaspora voting will take place, and of course that can only happen via the use of technology. I mean, how excited are you about that development?
Very, 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 very excited. We've been...
I can see that from your response.
We've been clamoring for this for some time now, and the clamor is eventually come rife, and we are happy. If you look at the remittance of diaspora to Nigeria in a year, I think 2018 is coming to almost 17 billion naira. That is something. We're contributing heavily to the economy, and we should be allowed to select who, you know, becomes the president or our local reps and local chairman and all that.
All right, very well. Let's hope that comes to play very soon. I mean, very in the very nearest future, you know. Yeah. But we have to say thank you, of course, for joining us on the program today. Thank you once again. Well, I mean, you know, this technology thing, it keeps coming on. On Poststream, I can't count how many numbers.
You know, at the prospect of diaspora voting. It's exciting.
Let's wait and see how soon that will happen. But let's take more video reactions. And we'll come back to continue from another perspective. Please stay with us.
This was happening here in Tola. Nasara Obiyeri.
All right, so this is Tola in Maribelwa local government area of Adamawa State. The video you're seeing, and the person who sent it is alleging that thugs took over a polling unit that had only one police officer and couldn't handle the situation. I mean, he's also adding that when a voter gets accredited, youths will forcefully collect the ballot paper and thumbprint to the party of their choice. I mean...
He also adds that after he started viewing the situation, I believe he meant recording the situation, the thugs surrounded him and snatched his phone. At least that seemed to have happened before his phone was snatched. He was able to record something.
And that's the beauty of clouds, you know, when you have a cloud storage system, whereas you're getting data on your phone, you know, it just goes straight up in the air and it doesn't have to stay on your phone. Well, hopefully all these skirmishes are taken care of by the security operatives. But at this moment, I'm always excited when we do this. We're going to bring in our colleague who is in our Abuja studio, but we're bringing her right here into our Lagos studio using the virtual reality interface. Markwe Ogun Yusuf joins us now. And there she is.
There you are.
Hello, Markwe.
It's the first time we're talking to Markwe.
Indeed, actually.
I'm used to seeing Terry, and when I get to say in Lagos. Well, it's good to see you in Lagos.
You can say that again, Mayowa. It's good to see you, and it's good to see Victor, and it's lovely to speak with you guys. How are you today?
Oh, we're fine.
Okay.
We're good. We're following the elections. We're pretty much excited with all we've been getting, all the reactions. But, of course, I'm sure that excitement will continue if you give us more from your own end. I mean, what's been going on in the FCT?
Well, I'm glad you guys are excited because there is very little to be excited about when you think about how long these elections have taken for them to get to a conclusive end. And who knows if today we'll still be talking about conclusive elections or inconclusive elections. But we can tell you
hopefully
that the elections will be brought to an end. Today in the FCT, there were also some inconclusive elections recorded, and as such, some supplementary elections are also taking place here. We have elections in about 7 wards over 5 council areas. I did say on this particular platform that the FCT is divided into 6 area councils. Of the 6 of them, 3 of them have inconclusive chairmanship elections. So 3, that's Kuje, Kwali, and I'm trying to remember the third one now. Buhari constituency, that's beg your pardon, yeah, Buhari are going to be seeing the conclusion of their chairmanship elections. And then they also have inconclusive, would you believe it, councillorship elections. So you also have councillorship elections holding in 7 wards over 5 area councils. That is what is happening here in the FCT today. But in the area where I live, which is the AMAC, which is the Central Abuja Municipal Council, Abuja Municipal Council, the elections have been concluded there, so activities are going on as normal.
Yeah, so what has been the voter turnout like?
It's difficult to tell, Victor. We're still waiting to hear from our correspondents who went to those areas to cover and to see. But I do think that kudos will be in order for the voters who did turn out today for the elections. Recall that one of the greatest challenges that INEC will be facing for this elections is voter apathy. So if people are really turning out to vote anywhere they're turning out to vote for these supplementary elections, I think that they deserve to be commended.
Definitely. Now, I mean, across the country, we've had different reports. In some areas, you have great voter turnout, and in some other areas, it's a bit, you know, it's not as exciting. Of course, security is another issue that has come up in this supplementary elections. What is the situation from your end?
Well, as I did say, in Abuja, the major municipality where I live, everything is peaceful, everything is normal. We sincerely hope that it is the case in the areas, because these areas are scattered in the larger FCT, that's the Federal Capital Territory. That's Kuje, Kwali, and Buhari. They're in 3 different municipalities, and you know, it's very difficult to tell since you're only looking at wards, elections in the wards. But I want to believe that they will be safe. I mean, we have not heard any reports so far so good of skirmishes or anything of the sort. It is very disturbing to see the kind of visuals that we have seen, or to hear the kind of reports we've heard of violence. You know, it is very worrisome, and it questions the sincerity on the part of security agencies for them to conclusively see to the end of these elections. We sincerely hope that they would have some explanation for what has happened or what is happening in these elections that we're seeing.
Well, Markwe, I mean, of course, as always, thank you for these updates. Again, it was exciting to see you. It was always nice to see you, to hear from you on this platform. Thank you very much.
And if, you know, we still have full stream going forward, we'd definitely like to see you again.
Well, I sincerely hope you will not be...
Well, and there it goes. There you go as well. That's full stream at this time. Thank you for watching. I'm Victor Matthias.
And Damayawa Uguntele.